Reverend Father Anthony L.M. Totem CMI, Reverend Father Thomas Tenganari Parambil MST, Shri S.H. Panchapakisan, Shri Mohammed Arif, General Manager, State Bank of India, Thiruvananthapuram, Sister Alice Mary, Father John Kuchukurukkal, Priya Sahodari Sahodran Mari, Elavarkum and Devandanam. We have assembled here to remember and pray for Father Thomas Felix CMI, who said adieu to us last year after devoting his life to the empowerment of the specially abled children. As relatives, friends, colleagues, and admirers, we are indebted to Father Felix through his noble work and life witness. We come full of gratitude to God for the friendship and the inspiring work of Father Felix, and pray for his noble soul to rest in eternal peace. Father Felix was one who had taken on the person of Jesus Christ, and his death is somewhat of a loss in our very communication with Lord. No one will exemplify Christ for us in the unique way that Father Felix did. When I think of Father Felix, the ringing words of our Lord come to my mind. Father, I pray for those you have given me. Keep them in your name. They are not of the world. Sanctify them in truth. May the love with which you loved me be in them, and I in them. It was this union with Jesus Christ that guided and shaped the life of Father Felix. In his case, this was so much so that it will be difficult to define his personality, even to conceive of his life apart from serving the special children of God, a cause for which he lived all his life. Father Felix, always dignified, courteous, humble, kind, he seemed to inhabit a different world from ours. He stood out from the backdrop of the corruption of the times and seems to have passed his days among us as a visitor of a bygone time when civility and holiness were more than the rule than the exception. Yet we know so well that virtues such as these are not native to any of our fallen race. They are rather the fruit of self-discipline, prayer, and lifelong commitment to a cause that Father Felix considered greater than himself. There are some features of his life that I think appropriate to mention, not to eulogize him, that is for the Lord to do, but to goad us on to attain a higher degree of sanctity. I especially wish to mention Sister Alice Mary, who was as a second guardian angel in caring for the man whom she regarded as her spiritual guide. We will all miss Father Felix here, but we will rely on his continued help from next life. A noble soul he was. and he lived with the noblest of intentions. God was kind in granting him a long life, every moment of which he utilized to serve the children of God. The service of the intellectually disabled, who are among the most vulnerable human beings, that is what destiny had chosen Father Felix for. Father Felix, who understood the importance of empowering the powerless, took up the mission of equipping them to be self-reliant by enhancing their skills and levels of confidence through holistic and enriching education. Through this, he became the most vociferous and enthusiastic champion of the cause of the mentally challenged human beings, for he took it as his destined mission. I recall my first visit to Asha Bhavan in Shri 3 years ago, where I heard that Father Felix was encouraged by Mar Joseph Povatil, the then auxiliary bishop of Shri, to become a trained facilitator who would serve the specially abled people, particularly the children. I understand that it was to Mar Povatil Tirumeni that Father Felix later presented his idea of starting a center to help differently abled children to live a normal life. The result was the founding of the Central Institute on Mental Retardation in Thiruvananthapuram. If I remember correctly, it was on the empowerment of the differently abled that he did his higher studies in USA in Pennsylvania. I am told that the most significant contribution of Father Felix is the development of a new education system based on unique 3 C's concept of comprehension, competence and creativity. It enabled children to learn through observation of basic shapes and other properties of objects. I recall releasing some of the books that Father Felix had prepared for children. The books and his teaching methods transcended boundaries as practical tools leading to the normalization and rehabilitation of the mentally challenged. People of Thiruvananthapuram would recall the determination with which he brought his differently abled children to public gatherings and proved that they too had creative capabilities. When he realized that the horse riding could instill confidence in children, he presented the idea before former President Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, who ensured that the Indian Army gave him 2 horses. Innovative methods in education made Father Felix stand out among the special educator of times. The 2 cars in the workshop of the Central Institute were used by children, and I remember when I came here for the first time, he was more than 80 years old. How he quickly jumped into one of the cars to show me how the children, they learn driving here itself. These methods fetched good results and every positive development invigorated Father Felix to tell society about it. Father Felix is no more, but the mission he carried out has to go on with greater vigor. I hope that the teachers and volunteers he had trained and inspired will carry forward the legacy of Father Felix. I would conclude with what Maya Angelou said about noble souls. A great soul serves everyone all the time. A great soul never dies. It brings us together again and again. May the noble soul of Father Thomas Felix rest in eternal peace. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Valre nanni. Jai Hind.